Alright, making a video. Uh-oh. Yeah. So you're making a video when my browser screen has gone a bit wacky. So hopefully it'll restore itself in time for this video. So anyway, yes, determinism. And we'll get to the inheritance thing probably and get to some other crap. Hopefully. Numbly num. Also thinks animals know they're going to die because they run away from things. You know, I mean, it's just so stupid. Anyway, so the modern mystic playing out this is not going to, it just fixed. Okay, modern mystic. So he's done a couple of these videos where he places my quotes directly, instead of just quoting me in some kind of reasonable manner. Does it in this clip manner where you combine different quotes from different locations in a video, which is quote mining, which is kind of dangerous if you don't do it very carefully. Again, not really saying anything except, oh wait, that sentence you probably needed to say, you had to have this qualifying word in there, or this little qualifying phrase right next to it, even though the video you said it. You need it right next to that phrase just to make sure people don't think you're saying you can change the future. No, you can change what possible future will likely be the future. Okay, the future is already out there. All we can do is see we can only see them as possible futures, and by different things happening, we can say, we just eliminated a bunch of possible futures. So a future where the modern mystic saves a cat sitting in a puddle from horror tomorrow. That future won't happen if he falls off a cliff today. So we can see that stuff happen in the present. We can see stuff happen, in our reality that eliminates what we can imagine as the possible futures. And we can only imagine them as possibilities. They don't exist as possibilities. We are just imagining them as possibilities. Because everything's inevitable. Just like there's no real probability in the sense that there's some, vagueness about what's going to happen when you roll a pair of dice. There's no vagueness. There's an inevitable outcome. But when you imagine the outcomes as possibilities, then probability becomes relevant. Okay. And there's a zero probability of something being when something has eliminated it as a possible chain of events. Now there's no longer a chain of events that make it possible for that to happen. So that's what we change by changing our behavior, quote unquote, from what we think we're going to do now, like I think I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and then, but if somebody catches my house on fire, the fact that I was thinking I was going to do X, Y, Z, no, I'm not, because now I'm going to go do W, put out the fire. You see. So things change from what I expected to something different because of events, the chain, the understanding, knowledge changes. But yeah, the reality doesn't change at all. The book is the book. It was inevitable that somebody was going to catch my house on fire, blah, 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 blah. So that's all it's really about. And so it's just this play on words, about, this little word challenge. And so apparently the mystic thinks he's perfect in his vocabulary, and he never makes any such mistakes. I say bullshit to that. But anyway, that I could play with. That I could, dice out of his videos in little quote sections and make him sound ridiculous. Yes, I think I could do that. But I'm not a petty, small person. So I don't waste my time with that. There's no real joy in that success. So anyway, he posted a comment that just sort of, I say, okay, well that's a comment we can use. That's a comment that basically describes what the problem is here, what the real trouble is. Yeah, so we'll go there.
Completely a hard determinant.
Yes.
It
So I over and over again I talked about being a hard determinist, and oh, you know, this is just not good. Alright, I'm going to have to fix this. So, unfortunately, we'll have to take a little distracting stroll down Reboot Lane. And I don't want to turn the camera off because then I have to splice the videos together. But I also don't have the task manager open, so I have to do the Alt-Control-Delete. And I have to wipe out the Firefox because it's probably up to 1500 blah blah blah. No, it's 1280. It's not really not that bad. It really should be able to manage on 1280 worth of memory. Let's do the cunt browser. Anyway, it's better than using Google products. That's for sure. Anyway, so I might as well just go a little bit more with this. You know, there's almost no point now in the conversation because, yes, people just don't follow along. You know, one guy just says, "Book? What book?" Just forget about it. So just don't even watch my videos if you just can't follow along, please. And then some other asshole asked me something about flat Earth and some other kind of silly shit, and you're just like, yeah, why don't you ask me if I eat dog shit? I mean, just fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I mean, you know, people just aren't willing to follow along, pay any attention. It's just really irritating. Yeah, that's all you can say about it. It's really irritating. Really, really irritating. Yeah, I could say it's really, really irritating. That would probably say it even better. So, but there's, so my argument is like, as generally I've said before about the mystic, he does have this stuff that he doesn't really, you know, every now and then he does make a video about it, a little bit. You know, he touches on it a little bit. Alright, we'll get rid of this radar thing because that was getting us in some trouble. Yeah, I don't see the mystic window anywhere. Huh? Strange. Anyway, so this should fix the problem. Yeah, there's so many things. My Walter Lewin physics video will probably open. And it did. But thankfully it's one of his last ones. I don't think it was that good a physicist, actually. Anyway.
This should be a short add-on.
Yeah, it's quite trouble. Okay, so back to this. So I gotta open the Mystic video. And this should work this time. And then we'll be rolling right along.
So I'm completely a hard determinist. We can all just sit on the couch and whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Right, so he just played with that term, and, you know, there's really no point in doing it. So then it says here, it is written in the book whether you will get off the couch or not. Yeah, the problem is, though, is that you're sort of implying in your videos by the rhetoric you use. Like, okay, first you say I'm in trouble because of something I'm saying, which, again, is kind of vague. But more importantly, you say things like ranters, these, you know, almost like these are silly people who are talking about anything or communicating ideas, like it's a waste of time. You're fatalism, you're sort of being fatalistic. Now you can pretend that you're not, but even your comments are pointing it out to you that you're sort of implying that, and you're just not paying any attention to that implication. And there's something wrong with that, I would say. You know, what's that agenda about? And like I said, you started your video with, I mean, I could go back and quote mine and play with your quotes, but you started your video with some line about this whole you nonsense, you know, which again is, you know, playing with the idea that somehow we as things, as individuals and as machines, that there's a lack of significance in it. And I guess I would argue that there's great significance in these mechanisms. First, they're the only thing that has any value generation in terms of the sensations we feel. And it's still, even without any superpowers, just the regular power of the fact that you can go back thousands of years and punch somebody in the face and change who I am is really quite interesting. I mean, that's a pretty, you know, interesting truth about our composition and our complexity. that we're so complex that a tiny change in the past will change who we are entirely, dramatically. Okay, I think he confuses determinism with fatalism or something. I don't do that. You mean I'm accusing you of being a fatalist. And that's not fair because you're not really a fatalist. You really do understand that people do have to get off the couch and fight in World War II for the war to get won. And you don't think you, in your videos, are implying to people who are ignorant that, well, no, really the truth is, the facts are the thing's going to happen. It just doesn't matter what you do. That you're making some kind of statement that leaves some room for the possibility that, yes, you will win World War II, even if you sit on the couch. And that you can somehow know that you weren't important. I didn't need to do anything for the cause. See, because you've already accepted that as your philosophy. You've determined that there's this low probability that you would be playing any significant role in, say, the fight for animal liberation, or in the fight to prevent some huge holocaustic circumstance that might trap human beings in 1,000,000 years of torment. You just don't see anything significant in your contribution. So in that sense you become feudalistic, not necessarily fatalistic. And I guess I'm arguing that for you to think your audience can tell the difference between fatalism and feudalism, I think it's expecting an awful lot from dunderheads. He just doesn't get the last click, that it is in the book. No, I do get that it's in the book. I stated it's in the book. This sentence is in the book. Okay? It was in the book 1,000,000 years ago that I would say 1,000,000 years ago right now. So I know every single fucking thing is in the fucking book. I've said that so fucking clearly you can't fucking miss it. So for you to imply that somehow I don't know that every fucking fart that ever came out of my anus was in the book 1,000,000 years ago. You could have, if you had the power to flip the pages of the book forward, you could see Gary farted today. You could have seen it. If you could do that. But you can't do that. That's what I'm saying. You can't read the fucking book. All you can read is your imagination of what's in the book. And your imagination sometimes is pretty fucking good. Man walking towards end of cliff, man falls off cliff. Yes, we can know things like that. And we can know that man might stop if I say stop. We can know that. And that can be in the book. But it won't be in the book unless I am paying attention first and seeing that he's falling off the cliff. So I can't be asleep on the couch. I have to be awake on the couch. And then, for him to hear me, I have to get off the couch and maybe walk a little closer and say, stop! So if I know it's going to happen, I'm seeing it happen, and I know maybe my stop is the stop that'll make him stop, then yes, I have to get off the couch and say stop. That's the logical thing to do. And it's in the book that I did the logical thing. If I get off the couch and do it, it was in the book. I know that, fuckhead. Yeah. No, so he just doesn't, no. Bullshit, okay? That is nonsense. He does, fuckhead. Alright. So, again, who's making the accusations? Oh, that's right, you are, shithead. So who's starting the fight? Oh, that's right, you are, shithead. This video started with you saying, you making a video, you saying I was in the trouble on the subject of determinism. That's what you did, fuckhead. It seems like you want to have a fucking argument. Like you want to provoke it. I'm sure if I provoked the video by making a video, hi, Mystic, I think you're in trouble on the subject of the economy. Oh, I'm not asking for a fight? I think you're in trouble on the subject of oil reserves and you know, the how much money is returned per you know, research dollar or something. I'm not asking for a fight. Yeah, right. You can't figure that out? Well, see, at least I'm not insulting your intelligence by thinking you don't know that those are fighting words, because I certainly know that you know it. So what is this crap? Just theater for the dunderheads? That he will make renty videos. See, this is it. That he will make renty videos and other people will do other things. La 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 la. It's just all this fairy tale language of insignificance. This is all demeaning and you know, minusculing. Let's make it all minuscule. It's of minuscule importance. It's of no significance. The human interactions mean nothing to the human activity. You know, the human vocalizations have nothing to do with what humans will do. You know, kind of nonsense. So again, don't tell me that you don't know you're implying feudalism. Of course you are. Or he just sees fight everywhere. Well, again, it's you who provoked the fight. And it would be silly of me to insult your intelligence by saying when you say somebody doesn't understand. If I say to you, if your wife said to you, Nick, I don't think you understand. I think you would understand. You would have some sort of provocative emotional reaction that might say, oh, shut up, bitch. He sees that the book will get him to do stuff. Yes, the book made me. That's right, that was made by my experiences in reality. Yeah. And so he fights against it. No, I fight against what are the idiots who think everything happens for no reason. No, things happen because of things. Because we don't see something. Because we are too busy doing something silly, like NASCAR or something. So if we didn't do NASCAR, we would have a bunch of available time to see people falling off cliffs. That's what I believe. Asshole. Right. Fights against it. So you see, so another implication that somehow I'm fighting against something that cannot possibly be anything but failure. Right? We're not fighting about understanding that, hey, if the future is going to have this, this, and this in it, we have to put those things in it, right? We have to actually plant the apple tree before the apples can come fall off the tree 10 years from now, right? So if we have a vision of the future where apples are falling off the trees 10 years from now, we do know that we actually have to plant the trees for the apples to fall off of them, right? Right! So doing that, recognizing that we actually have to plant apple trees before there can be apples that fall off of them. The fact that I recognize that is fighting against it. No, it isn't. Bottom line, he is determined to seek fights. No, you are determined to be pompous and preposterous. So, mission accomplished. Okay. Why does determinism matter? It matters because then you have to understand that the universe is really dumb in terms of the crude forces. And that everything that we're doing probably has some conservation of logic built into it. On, off kind of a thing, or in, out kind of a thing, or black, white kind of a thing. That's really what it's all made out of. So if you think you're actually fixing problems, you're probably not really fixing problems, because the real problem is that you made the problem in the first place. See, that you made more problems. See, you live, let's just imagine for a minute that some, like South Park did a little thing with fleas, no, the crabs, little whatever, pubic mites or whatever they are. Anyway, and animated characters. So if that was the truth, if there was these other worlds that were being affected by your behavior in the world and you were totally unaware of it, you could understand that you would be their problem, you see. So you think you're a solution. I'm great, I'm human, I'm wonderful. No, you're this demon that's causing all these problems for these other organisms. You see? So, but that's what, if you understand determinism, you understand that it all just cycles back to some sort of mechanics. And the mechanics is, don't make a wave and then no one gets seasick. That kind of thing. Anyway, I don't think Gary understands what determinism means. Ronald, you're a cunt, a douchebag, a liar, and an asshole. Okay, yes, that is one way of putting it. So the mystic thinks I don't understand. So he's played 2 videos, playing the clips of me saying, yes, it's all written in the book. Yes, the book can't be changed. Yes, everything we do will be part of the book. Every thought I have is part of the book. All that's being said, and now he says this. What can you say but, fuck you? Although, I would not put it that way. Well, you just put it this way. So that's really silly. It's okay to put it that way, but I wouldn't put it that way. Well, gee, that's a really intelligent statement. It's okay for you to say that, but I wouldn't say it that way. Brilliant. It's okay for you to be an asshole. I wouldn't be one. Well, what's the difference? If it's okay for him to be an asshole, it might as well be okay for you to be one, asshole. Shit. Gary understands what determinism means, but he has strange, nagging little feelings that it can't be allowed to cramp his style. So again, that's more crap. Just absolute crap. What do I make out of that? Cramp my style how? I find my life obnoxious, so somehow my style is being cramped by the fact that I have to actually do something, where unlike you, I can't just say, what do I feel like doing today? I have to say something like, well, what might be the more productive thing for me to do today? What might have more consequential meaning? Those kind of things I nag myself with. That inconvenient statement. Does this really mean anything? Is this really useful? So anything I might enjoy doing, okay, I might not do because I might say I have to do something a little bit fucking more important. Cunt. You're the one, it seems to me, that's very inconvenienced by anything that might cramp your comfort zone, cheese eater. I remember seeing a comment like that, right? He's basically a vegan, except, well, he can't give up the cheese. No, the cheese is life. Right. I think it's like people who believe without thinking in free will. Whatever that. So again, so now he's comparing me to somebody who believes in free will, when I can't have I've made so many determinism videos. I did that whole thing with the George Ortega guy. I've made a ton of fucking anti-free will videos, and there he just does it. When told how silly the idea is, they have a little nag that says something like, accept that and you'll never get out of bed again. Again, see, so now he's implying that it's correct, that you don't have to get out of bed. And it's not correct. So again, he's defending feudalism and fatalism. I am guessing that it is the same with Gary and determinism. Fatalism and feudalism, it's just the idea. You just have to recognize that, yes, all that means is you've decided, personally, that you are irrelevant to the book. Now, you have no necessarily any evidence that you're irrelevant to the book. You've just decided that it's not your job. So just understand what kind of feudalist or fatalist these people are. They don't believe that it's feudal and fatal. They just believe for themselves personally it's feudal and fatal. I'm guessing that is the same with Gary and determinism. Ah, fuck you. He always looks away at the last minute. Scared that. See, I mean, if I wrote this kind of crap about you, I'm sure you would find that obnoxiously offensive. You'd be saying things, why are you lying about me, Gary? But you little scummy turd. I mean, this is just such crap. Fuck you. If he looks fully at it, he may have to stop shouting at people on the internet. See, so again, shouting on people on the internet doesn't do anything. That's his argument. My brain can't influence your brain. Me saying stop doesn't work. Me saying, me explaining something to people or contextualizing their lives and saying to them, look, this is all about ideas and ideas aren't written in stone anywhere. See, this is the asshole who said just the other day, made the comment that implying that somehow it's an intractable problem, this idea of people having babies. Yet 80% of the people are not having enough babies to sustain human population. So he doesn't even understand the statistical facts. And that's what he's basing his feudalism on. He thinks you can't stop him. You can't do anything. Nothing can ever change. So the 80% of the people who replicate at minimum responsibly or by choice not at all, which is like 50% of that 80%, they have kids because they don't fucking want them. Okay, not because they want them, but because they don't want them. And he's arguing that 80% has no political energy or power to ever in the history of the human race to ever decide to tell the irresponsible 5% that have all of the excess population. All right, it's not even the 20%. It's really just the 5. It's like the wealthiest 0.1% are the real problem. It's like the bottom 5% of the replicators are the real problem. The bitches having 15 kids. Those are the fucking blight of the fucking human race. Because he doesn't understand. But again, you just can't get any better than him making that statement, right? Stop shouting at people on the internet. So his argument is that shouting on the internet is futile, pointless, of no consequence. It doesn't make the future. No elements of the future are dependent on shouting at people. Shouting on people does not improve the future. That's his brilliant philosophical perspective. That not talking about it is the best way to get the political movement to move. Not talking about it is the way to educate people. Not talking, not saying, not speaking is the way you have evolution. So by not having any meme replication, somehow you evolve ideas. I don't think so, fucking retard. Yeah. So yes, in the end, you are right. Okay, so in the end, he concedes the point. The point he was arguing. But now he just says, yes, you're right. Gary doesn't understand determinism. I'm just saying that if you were, in my opinion, you were asking for a fight when you said the minimal statement of, Gary gets into some trouble. But now you're saying it even clearer, fuckface. So now who's looking for the fight, asswipe? You are. Cunt. Yeah. Alright. Gary doesn't fully understand what determinism means. Fuck you, lying cunt. If I thought you believed that, well, I don't. Yeah, so, yeah, fuck you. Anyway, me thinks he has trouble with interpretation sometimes. I don't think so. Look, Nick, I'm riding a motorcycle now. I'm trying a safety precaution. Glow in the dark versus orange helmet, blah, 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 blah. Putting head on toe. Even the most motorcycle at night when the streets are empty, still animals continue to link. Total control, something will happen. It usually unexpected. That takes our... I don't know, who needs all this crap? I mean, the point is that, yes, we're trying to anticipate the future, and we can understand that certain activities tend to produce certain futures. We see that in our life. We see certain present activities create certain probabilities of outcomes, and that works not only in the short term, but in the long term. It's a book concept. Yeah, cause and effect. Shitheads. And one of the fucking causes that has an effect is talking, fuckhead. Yeah. If you are a determinist, your sorry ass is written about in the book. So again, he just keeps talking as if all there is writing in the book about what happened rather than the things that happened before the happening. Yeah, and the things before the happening are kind of important. But if you're not a determinist, anything may happen. Well, again, it's not about anything may happen. No one's making the argument that you can change the future. The argument being made is there's somebody walking towards a cliff. The truth is, if no one says stop, he'll fall off the cliff. Now, we have time to say stop. The question is, should our brain calculate that maybe my brain needs to say stop? That's the fucking question, jackass. Not complicated. The rational thing for my brain to do would be, yes, calculate that you need to say stop. It seems perfectly reasonable that if he's going to be in the future of the book, you have to say stop. That's what it's looking like because there's no one else around. Howdy BM. Huh, weird. He is a bit of a bum. I think you can... Oh, this is trick. Oh, fuck. I think you can use the it is written in the book analogy as long as you don't take it to imply a feudal type fatalism rather than determinism. Well, I think the book analogy is perfectly rational. The truth is that it's like ink. And so the activity of our lives. So it's inked into the book. So, yes, it's not in ink yet in the forward section, and this is the inked section or something like that. But it's just the same as, and yeah, that's not even a good analogy because that implies that somehow inking is important. But yeah, there's no way to break out of it. The structure is defined, and there's only so much Jell-O, and there's only so many grapes in the Jell-O. That's just the truth. And you're just not going to change that. You can't get away from it. So it's going to be grape Jell-O all the way down, or all the way forward. Each page and each paragraph and each sentence and each word in the book is a necessary criteria for the way the next word, sentence, paragraph, etc. will be in the book. No, I know, but that criteria, again, to deny that criteria of position at any moment is significant to the entire book doesn't really say anything. You know, because the fact that we can logically run the machine in our imagination and know there's only one way it can turn out. If we know every physical fact about an engine or something, we can run it a model. Just make a simpler model. If I make a simple model, a pendulum swinging, I don't need to write the future book to very accurately say the only thing that's going to happen is this thing's going to swing back and forth. I mean, I can... It's written. It just can't be anything other than that. So it's the same as it being written. Because it's exactly word for word, letter for letter, period for period, exactly what the book will be. What we can imagine it will be exactly what it is if our imagination was perfect. Anyway, whatever. The book where people are convinced and sit on the couch is a different book entirely, including the ending. That's the important part, is the book has asshole in it if everybody sits on the couch. And the book doesn't have asshole in it if they don't. So that's the only difference. The difference is that, yes, we were assholes or we weren't assholes. My argument is if we're not ranting and raving and doing something, then the book says humans are assholes. And if we are fighting to do better and improve, then we will improve, we will fix, we will make better, and therefore we won't be assholes. That's in the book already. And again, the only argument is if we imagine what could be in the book from this position, I imagine a world where people end up reluctantly accepting the fact of their role as janitor, as something that needs to clean up the place, do some maintenance so the building will stand for the future, and those who think they can just eat the walls and eat the paper and eat the floor and eat everything, and that somehow the building will exist tomorrow. Those two perceptions, imaginations of reality. I say the mystic's silly imagination of reality where everybody does nothing and something good happens is nonsense. And I say, at least my perception, that it's possible that we can do something and that some good can happen is the future to vote for, in the sense that if we all vote for it, then it was in the book. Then it was in the book. In the book. Was in the book. We're just guessing what was in the book. Anyway, let's just get to this. I think all Gary is saying is that since we have not read future pages, yes, causality, as far as we know it, could derive a book of more rational and logical people who interact with each other and who get them to act rather than think in futile to do so. It's futile to do so, exactly. So that's all I'm saying is, if it's in the book that the world's going to be great, the only way it's going to do that is we have to be great. That's it. That's right. The book is going to be what we are. And if we're couch-sitting feudal fuckheads, then that's what the book's going to be. Couch-sitting feudal fuckheadery. Determinism says that conscious thoughts and actions are important for the determined future. Well, it certainly is the fact that we're animals, and animals float through their existence mechanically based on these themes and ideas like, I don't want to be an asshole. Yeah, some of that works. Okay, anyway. So let's see what the mystic had anything rational to say. As I said in the determinism video number 1. Oh, you're not allowed to do this as I said stuff, because as I've said 7 zillion times, statements directly conflicting with the crap you just put in my mouth, motherfucker. You can look at it short term or long term. Well, again, it really doesn't matter. It's book is book is book is book. The long term is the book. No, the short term is the whole thing is the book. It's just silly to say looking at a chapter is different than looking at the whole book. It's the same mechanism. And for you to play some sort of, well, the long term, blah, blah, blah. Now, again, it's just, you're just basically trying to imply, you're trying to put our behavior further and further away from significance by just saying, well, look, if I make the book really long, you'll just forget that Earth even existed. So if I go with the whole big book, then you won't even see the Earth, because there's a zillion stars in the book, and there's zillions and zillions of chemical reactions, and so I'll just lose the significance of this whole conversation and all the suffering that ever took place on planet Earth by just hiding it in a giant book. That's all he's doing. So this is more of his, it's not feudalism, fatalism, and glibism. I mean, it doesn't rhyme. So somebody come up with a word for glib that's a synonym with an F word. Fucktardism. Alright. As long as the idea of the book is accepted, as Gary does, then the short term is of no significance. So there, he just said it. So even if everything feeling happens in one chapter of the book, right? It's the book that matters. It's the stuff after that has some sort of meaning. No, it doesn't mean anything. So everything after that would be irrelevant book. Meaningless book. Insignificant book. Because clearly it can't be causing anything anymore. Where the stuff before sensation existed was causing. It was setting up the dominoes to fall in the image of, ow! P.S. If I confuse determinism with fatalism, let me know, but till then, fuck off. Oh, I said a little bit of a ranty. He had a little ranty there, didn't he? Just saying fuck off. Oh, why? What did Trick say that was all so horrid? Well, how did he get to your small wiener? I didn't see him make any comment about your small wiener. I wouldn't bring it up. I didn't think you slide into fatalism type of mantra when you suggest that the short term is of no significance. Yes, exactly. And with your book analogy, which, so it seems, suggests that it matters not that each word in the book causes the next word to happen, we can simply read the future regardless. Yes, he's kind of saying the conclusion matters, the how you get there, how you make the war, who cares, just matters who wins, blah, blah, blah. It's nothing to do with short term or long term. It has to do with entire chains of event, which each event in the way, well, see, again, it's not the entire chain. I would say that once you break sentience, then who the fuck cares, right? Just, yes, you couldn't make a conversation about the book that could matter. It only matters because what's hanging in the balance is falling off cliffs. And the only thing that makes falling off cliffs matters is we have sentient brains that will go, ow, that hurt like fucking, ow, 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 ow. That makes it matter. Yes. It has nothing to do with short-term, long-term. It has to do with the entire change. With each event in the way that it is very significant to the output of the next, including events. Well, again, it's significant. It's not changeable. So that's the thing to understand. None of it's changeable. We can't change what we're going to be or how we're going to be. All we can do is say, yes, we do understand that what somebody else says to us does affect us. So if somebody insults me or humiliates me for being a ranter on the internet and stops me from ranting, right? What if the mystic was successful in insulting me and trying to demean me or diminish me by saying, oh, you're just a selfish, self-interested ranter and you're just a petty, angry little bastard. And so he got me to shut the fuck up, right? But what if the world needed me to do that ranting? Then the mystic would be a mass murderer causing tons and tons of horrible, horrible suffering to millions and billions of people because he doesn't know that I prevented World War III by ranting. He doesn't think that's possible. Fuck him in the ass. Anyway, convincing others of X and so on. But if you're saying you aren't confusing determinism with fatalism, fine. My casual mistake, so trick is being polite. Mystic, I am convinced that I told you to fuck off. Oh, jeez, what a charmer. That's just so polite. But there is that future thing added again, full of surprises. Again, it's not that it's a surprise. Well, it's certainly a surprise from our expectations. If people have the expectation that, yes, I sat on the couch and made the future better, and lots of apples fell off trees from the trees I didn't plant. I didn't plant any apple trees, but there's lots of apples in my vision of the future. I have a vision of the future where apples are everywhere, but I didn't plant a motherfucking tree. That's a surprise then. See, then you're surprised. But you get to the future and say, where's all the apple trees I planted? Oh, wait, I didn't plant any, did I? Oh, fuck. Surprise, surprise. Sorry, future, I fucked you, didn't I? That's right, all I did was shit in the toilet a lot. Yeah, oh, sorry. My mistake. Yeah, but you're telling me to fuck off is just a poorly written part of the book. It seems the universe isn't the best writer at times. Yes, the universe writes shit. It writes stupid, idiotic, futile, fucking selfish cunts. And the modern mystic is pretty much just a selfish cunt. He basically has announced it many times. If it just doesn't percolate into a feeling, it's just not going to happen. You're not going to persuade him with some piece of logic that says, hey, guess what? This is a lottery of sorts, okay? That's right, it is a long shot, but the prize is really big. So again, let's just pretend that the prize, preventing World War III, doesn't mean anything. No, it does mean something. Hundreds or thousands of years of human beings sitting there with their AK-47s jabbing each other with swords and shit. That sort of matters, but you can pretend it doesn't, and you'll just pretend because there's only a 1 in a million chance that I could possibly be part of this scenario in some meaningful, helpful way. I'll therefore pass because I'm a selfish cunt. Alright, you dare criticize the good book, you blasphemer. So I think we've got it, right? So anyway, I thought I would be getting to the other subjects. Thought I would just casually drift over here and get to his one little stupid remark where he blames me for being the insulting fighting type. I'm asking for a fight. I'm looking for a fight. It seems like he looks for a fight, right? I mean, fuck off is the best he can do. Yeah. So, whatever, hypocrite. There. Yeah, that's a good word to call him. That's got to piss him off some. You are a fucking hypocrite. Yeah. Anyway, again, you may be very right, but compared to determinism, it doesn't add up to a hill of beans. Okay, anyway. I agree to some extent with Gary that determinism, understanding, and misunderstanding should not be defined as free will. The only real benefit from our existence is whether we feel pain or pleasure, and that is fundamentally determined by understanding or misunderstanding the systems we are in. Clearly, it's part of the determinism, understanding or misunderstanding. And clearly, it's not going to change. Change is going to look like this. Change isn't going to look like no, change is going to be much more articulate. It's going to have plans, it's going to have arguments, it's going to do all this. That's what change is going to look like. This little jibber jabber shit isn't going to make anything. Okay, so if you have an expectation A and an expectation B of the universe, like, this is the worst case scenario, this is the best case scenario, as an imagination of what's in the book, okay, you can understand that, well, if it's going to be this one over here, then people have to do this thing here. And if it's going to be that shitty place, well, it's likely that's the place where people are just doing this. Okay. So, beardy fucker. Oh, no, this is the other one. Yes, Gary also sways between understanding and misunderstanding. We all do. I don't sway between any such thing. However, if Gary is saying that hard determinism is that understanding and misunderstanding is interdependent on full understanding, then I would agree with his hard determinism position. Okay then, fine. I just want the hard determinism position to be agreed with. Okay, so as long as we do that. Because you cannot know pleasure without knowing pain. Yes, this is true. It is our ability to be abstract in our thoughts that create the appearance of free will. Yes, the theater of thought. Yes, yes, it's all whatever. Well, I don't even see the appearance of anything called a free will. I've never, like I said, the word free is totally fucked up. It's never made any sense to me, people. Free is stupid. There's no such thing. It's a silly, it's a white space word. There's confinements, and you can be released from a specific confinement. But there's no such thing as any ambiguous, undescribed freeness. You're free from anal warts. You're free from cancer. You're free from brain tumor. You're free from six-fingeritis. You're free from all kinds of things that could be impediments or something. But you can't be free without the from. Fuckers. Okay. Oh, Piro said something. What a waste. Is there science of chemistry? Chemistry is not billiard balls. Oh, yes it is, fuckhead. Everything's billiard balls, retard. Big time. Little tiny ones, but there's a zillion of them. Piro. Yeah, Piro's just... Piro's not too bright either. So anyway, I won't do this. You know, how far can we go with this thing? I've already did the subject. I thought I did very well with it. I thought I explained all the... It's a book. We can only imagine what's in the book. Our imagination gives us a clue to things that are associated with each other, causes and effects. We understand cause and effect. We understand that Mystic falls off cliff if somebody doesn't say stop. Stop might be integral. Maybe the stop won't work, but we know that it's necessary that something happened because we can see the trail, we know what the physics is, we know it's going to happen, and the only thing, something has to stop it. It won't be stopped by nothing. Something has to stop it, not nothing. And sometimes we happen to be the something. That's all. We sometimes have to be the something. Sometimes we have to be the something. Or end up being the something. Or was always meant to be the something. Or always was slated to be the something. Sometimes you were inevitably slated to be the something. There, is that more perfect? Sometimes you were inevitably slated to be the something that says stop. Or says, fuck you! Or says, I don't like you. Or does something that is something like something, but nothing like free. I just threw that in as a joke. Alright, now we're done. The camera still works. Alright, so it will be a deliberate ending to the video. If it cuts off abruptly, it's because the camera said, fuck you, I'm going home. For the assholes who ask stupid questions like, why did the video end abruptly? Because the camera said, fuck you, I'm going home. Okay, anyway, till next time, and such.